Hey guys, welcome back to Papa Prepper. T here. Hope you guys had a good day, or having a good day, whatever, depends on what time it is there. It's about 20 till 9, or I'm sorry, 20 till 8 here, p.m. Probably a pretty short video. I just got a couple things I want to go over, and then just kind of my random thoughts here in a few minutes. But a couple things I want to go over for, being outdoors, whether it's bugging out or if you're just going hiking or, camping for the weekend or, not everything's got to be doom and gloom. You might just be going out to have a good time, okay? There's a couple things that I think is very important if you're out on the trail or out in the wilderness. I'm not saying these are the only two things you need to focus on, but these are two, really big priorities. The first one is going to be finding water. You never know what could happen, whether it be bugging out or, you're just out. Say you're out hiking and you get lost, okay? You went through your water and then realized you're lost. So I've got a couple of things here you can kind of look for that might possibly will lead you to water. First, you can look, depending on where you're at, you can look for valleys or low-lying areas. Common sense, water flows down, bottom of a hill. You might find a small stream, creek, even a ditch if you're, if it comes to that, But look for any lower-lying land. You're apt to find water there. Check out any big rocks or crevices, especially if it's just rained or, rained recently. They're like natural water catchers. The water will pool in any, little dents and crevices in those rocks. So you might score some water there. If you find some muddy or damp area, what you can do is dig out a hole. I would, pretty decent hole, foot or so across, maybe a foot, 2 foot deep. That's going to fill up with water. Now, of course, it's filtered already, but it's still going to be pretty dirty, and all of these actually, you're going to want to boil it, And when it comes to boiling your water boils at 185 degrees, and that's the safe temperature. That kills everything. So if you just, bring your water to a boil and let it boil for a minute, 2-3 minutes, if you want to be extremely safe, that's going to kill anything that's in that water. Okay. And another thing you can do, and this might not always work, but if you find some animal tracks, 9 chances out of 10, those animal tracks eventually will lead to some water. Like I said, that's a pretty big gamble. Okay, say if you got over here, 200 or 300 yards away, you can see some, valleys or whatever, or there's animal tracks, a path just leading off into nowhere. I'm gonna go check over here first. That's just common sense. But animal tracks can possibly lead you to water. Okay. And like I said, no matter where you find this water, make sure you boil it. Another thing that I think is, it's right up there with water. Excuse me. And that's keeping your feet healthy. Your feet, without your feet, you're not going anywhere. Okay. Plain and simple. And you just want to keep, plenty of dry socks. I would recommend taking at least 2 extra pairs of socks. And you want to keep your feet dry as possible. So depending on where you're hiking, definitely know your terrain or know your, your landscape. And if you're going to have to go through creeks and, make sure you take an extra pair of lightweight shoes. Or you're going to have to stop and let your shoes dry, and you're not going to take the time to do that. And a lot of people, that leads to feet problem or foot problems is excessive sweat. So before you take off or take it with you, excuse me guys. Okay, so before you take it off or you can take it with you, take some cornstarch or baby powder and put it on your feet really good before you put your socks on. And that will help absorb any of that extra dry sweat, and it'll also cut down on the smell. And the other main thing about feet is blisters, and of course that comes from the excess moisture and stuff too. But most blisters, I mean, it's caused by friction, plain and simple. So a couple things you can do is rub, like say it's usually either the soles, the front, not the arch, not the heel, but whatever the front part of your foot is. I can't even think right now. And then your heel, and the back of your heel is where most of that friction occurs. So if you take some petroleum jelly or even chapstick and just rub in really well on those areas before you put your shoes and socks on, that'll cut down a lot of that friction and possibly do away with getting blisters. You can also take duct tape. Don't laugh. When they say duct tape can fix anything, they mean it. Okay? You can take duct tape and put duct tape on the back of your heels or on the soles of your feet, wherever you're prone. Everybody's different. So wherever you're prone to getting blisters, just put a little bit of duct tape on it, and that duct tape will catch the friction instead of your skin. You can do the same thing with Band-Aids, but save your Band-Aids. Use a little bit of duct tape. Oh, and then, excuse me, keep your toenails cut. If you have just a toenail that's just a little too long, and you're walking and walking, that's going to start cutting the inside of your next toe. And you are going to be a mess before the end of the day. You're going to be hurting so bad, and possibly it can lead to infection and everything. So just keep your toenails cut. Keep them maintained. And every so often, just stop, take your shoes and socks off, and just let your feet air out and stretch your feet. I'm not saying you guys stop for an hour and a half. Just, stop for 15, 20 minutes. Just take your shoes off, stretch your feet, take a break. It's not going to hurt anything. Sorry about that, guys. I apparently shut my camera off with my notepad. So I guess I'll hold it up a little bit. Another thing that, it could definitely keep you out of a sticky situation, okay? Learn your animal tracks, okay? So say, you're out hiking or even bugging out, whatever you're doing, and you see some animal tracks, and if you don't know from, if that's a coyote or a wolf or deer, or surely you could tell a bear. Even if you don't know what a bear track is, it's big enough that you don't want to meet it. You don't want to find it. But if you see a pretty heavy trail and most of the tracks, are going in one direction, and say there's multiple sets, that's a really hot zone, and that could possibly be like wolves, coyotes, something you're not wanting any part of. So I would get off of that trail, but you're going to have to, you need to definitely learn your tracks, okay? Of course, your main threat would be like wolves, coyotes, bears, mountain lions, bobcats, any kind of predator. You wouldn't worry about deer or fox and coons. And don't get me wrong, they can tear you up, but they're not going to attack you unless provoked, usually. Okay, and that's really about all I want to cover tonight. Just a couple tips, nothing great. And I'll probably come up with some more of those. Just like I said, it don't all have to be doom and gloom. Maybe I just want to come up, with. I don't want everybody just dwelling on the bad aspects of being out in the wilderness or having to leave your home. A lot of this stuff is useful even camping, and camping is a good way to hone your skills. If you're possibly looking at bugging out, go camping for a weekend. Just take the bare minimum and just see how it goes for you. You still, all of us going through everything we went through in this past year, all of us still deserve a little bit of fun. Even if that's your own backyard. Now, granted, you're not going to learn much. I mean, you could build your own fires and stuff like that, but you're not going to learn much about living off land or, just in your backyard. But still, have some fun. Now, this was just me thinking earlier, okay? Now, I take care of people for a living, okay? I am a home health aide. So, I'm in and out of people's homes throughout the day. I take them to the grocery store. We're out in public, through all of this. So I will wear my mask to make my patients feel more at ease. Okay? But me personally, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I think the masks are a complete joke. They're just a joke. If anything, I firmly believe that the masks help spread the virus, if you want my honest opinion. Because think of this, or think about this, and I come up with the list here. I asked my wife and my kid, to kind of help me jot some things down here. We come up with a little list, not very long. But I want you to think about something for just a second. Okay, well, I thought I had a mask here somewhere, but maybe not. But you think, okay, you see people wearing the masks. Well, I got a gator around my wrist, but I don't want to mess with that. How many times, even you yourself, if you wear your mask, whatever, how many times an hour you're constantly, pulling it down and, itching your nose, and then you pull it back up, or you pull it down to breathe for a minute and put it back up, and then you rub your face, or, anybody that's got a beard, any guys, it itches so bad to wear that mask. So I'm constantly up under my, doing that. And then think how many other people do that every hour. And then we're all touching the same things. There's no way you could possibly sanitize in between touching everything that we all come in contact with every day. And here's just a short list. I mean, it's probably, it could go on for days, but here's just a couple. Doorknobs, door handles. Think about that. Every gas station you run into, or every bathroom you go into, every whatever, you touch that door handle that everybody else touched all day long after touching their face and their mask and, wiping their snot and whatever. Keypads at the store. Let's put this little baggie over it with a rubber band to stop the spread of corona. How's that work? We all touch that bag just the same way as we would touch the keys. What is the logic in that? But anyway, everybody touches it all day long. Toilet paper in the public bathrooms. The sink where you wash your hands in public bathrooms. The door handle to the stall in public bathrooms. The toilet seat, I always do with my feet. I never, ever touch a toilet seat in a public restroom. I barely touch a toilet seat at my house. I always use my foot. And that's only if I'm wearing shoes or socks. No part of my bare body touches a toilet seat except for my butt. Oh, this is one of my favorites. The drive-thru at any fast food place, okay? Your food, your drinks, excuse me, your debit card, your cash, your change. Think about, and I know you've all done this, okay? All the unnecessary steps these people are going through These poor drive-through people, like, they ain't got enough going on. They can't get their orders right half the time. They got people yelling at them through a window, yelling at them in their ear through a speaker. And, they have to take a bag, put the food in the bag, put the bag in the basket, hand the basket out the window. And, then they got to get your card, put your card in the basket. They take it out of the basket, slide it, put it back in the basket, hand it back to you. What is the point? It's still the same interaction. Everybody's touching everything. You're just putting it in a dang bucket to hand it out a window. That makes no sense. If somebody can explain the relevance of that, please comment below. Help me out, because that almost hurts my head thinking about that. It's stupid. It's completely stupid. Not even a little bit. It's like full stupid. Shopping carts. Now, a lot of places around here, they have been pretty decent at disinfecting carts in between each use, but they've really slacked off. So that's another one. Everybody touches their face and their nose and everything every day, and then touches that. Everything in the store, and we're all guilty of that. Like, nah, I don't want that. No, we all do it. And then somebody else is going to come and pick up the same one and put it back. Pick up the same one, put it back. It don't stop. And we're all touching this all the time. Okay. Pens and pencils at the checkout counter. Like, where you sign your receipt, like credit card, or say you still do checks. Write out your check or whatever. Everybody uses those same pens over and over and over and over. Cell phones. Okay, most of y'all are like, no. Think about this. How many of y'all sitting around looking at your phone, you're like, oh man, check this out. Here, scroll up, look at that. We all do it, back and forth. Same thing. Office break rooms. Factory break rooms. Any break rooms. Everybody touches everything in there every day. Think about office, because I used to work in the office. Copying machines, calculators, your computers throughout the office. Everybody touches them every day. Don't disinfect them, and there ain't nobody hand sanitizing after touching every little individual object they come across. Nobody's doing that. So tell me how these masks are effective. Okay. They're not. It's just something that irritates me. It's been irritating me. I'm over it. And just my personal opinion, it is stupid. How is breathing carbon dioxide all the time healthy? Oh, it's not. Could that be part of an agenda? No. They wouldn't do that to us. We're Americans. Come on now. Think about it. Okay. I think that's all I got for tonight. Like I said, wasn't very long. But I've got family things to do tonight. So, till I see you next time. Please, thumbs up or thumbs down. Whatever you're feeling tonight, I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I feel like I beg y'all, and I am. But please subscribe and share this. Just share as many times as you want to. To as many platforms as you want to. It really helped me out a lot. But until I see you next time, God bless each and every one of y'all. Take care of each other. Love the ones that don't deserve it. No, I said that wrong. Love everyone even if you don't want to, because everybody deserves love. Okay. And I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all. Papa Prepper out.